morning, everyone. It is nice to see you guys again. My name is Michel. I am the Chief Executive Officer for Access Health Connecticut, and welcome to our third Connecticut Small Business Summit. Thank you. And thank you for being here this morning. After a successful first Small Business Summit here in Rocky Hill in 2023, we are happy to be back in the Greater Hartford area for another sold-out event, and thank you for making it happen this morning. Access Health Connecticut is committed to being a resource and partner to all small businesses in Connecticut. We hope you find today to be informative and inspiring. We've got some great panel discussion coming up this morning. We hope you take time to visit our vendors who can help you one-on-one with your business challenges. I want to thank our speakers today, including Connecticut State Comptroller Scanlon. Sean, put your hand up. State Senator Matt Lesser, there. And also State Representative Kerry Wood. She represents Rocky Hill, this very area. And also Department of Administrative Services Commissioner Michel Gilman. I also want to recognize our keynote speaker, Michelle Nicholson, the founder and owner of the Flower Girl Bakery in Hebron. Congratulations to Michelle for recently being named Connecticut Small Business Person of the Year by the U.S. Small Business Administration. Very quickly, someone asked me earlier this morning, why are we doing this? Coming out of COVID in 2023, in our business, we saw a lot of small businesses were struggling just to get back on track. And I spoke with my team about, we have to do something to help them get back on track. So that was the basis for creating this. Small businesses do not have lawyers, they don't have accountants, they don't have business consultants, so they needed a place where they could go, sit down, and talk with those experts to give them advice free of charge. So this is why we do this every year. It gets bigger every year. So I hope you would take advantage of the resources we have available to you on the panel as well as outside in the hallways to get access to information that you need to grow and sustain your business. Thank you all very much for being here. I'm going to pass it on to one of my colleagues at Access Health, Tammy Hendricks, who's going to be our mistress of ceremony. Tammy? Thank you all.
Vertically challenged, so we're going to pull this mic down just a little bit. Good morning, everyone. Awesome. Welcome to the 2025 Connecticut Small Business Summit, sold out event, 3 years running. Let's give John and the small business and broker support team a huge round of applause for putting this event on. They do a great job every single year. Again, I'm Tammy Hendricks. I'll be your host for today. I am also the Director of Health Equity and Outreach at Access Health Connecticut. I've got some big shoes to fill. We've had Stephen Hernandez, who hosted the previous 2 summits, and he did a fantastic job. So I'll have to keep up with his energy and keep you guys going today. We have a really good mix of people in the room today, lots of familiar faces. I see some brokers, some entrepreneurs, small businesses, some family-owned businesses. We are so happy you're here today. No matter where you are in your business journey, right, we are here to level up. So we'll be covering everything from marketing to access to capital, all the good things, and also grab caffeine. You're going to need it. We have a fun-filled day for you. I know caffeine is the unofficial fuel for small business owners. It's okay. We're not going to judge. Grab your 4th cup. It's all good. All right, let's jump in. I am really honored to introduce a leader in our state, someone who's been a powerful voice for fairness and opportunity. Please welcome Connecticut State Senator Matthew Lesser.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tammy, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rocky Hill. So I represent Rocky Hill. I also see some of my constituents from Newington and Middletown in the room. I represent 5 towns in the area, and I just wanted to welcome you to this wonderful event. It is great to partner with Access Health, with James, with the whole team here. You know, we have seen over the last number of years a real crisis in affordability for small businesses accessing health insurance in Connecticut. On the legislative side, we've had some real differences. We've been at loggerheads about how to solve that crisis. Some folks have potentially put things on the table, and other folks have disagreed about how we can best address this issue. And into that sort of quagmire, Access Health has really stepped into the fray with some new products like the ICHRA product that will hopefully provide some real relief to our entrepreneurs, to our small businesses out there, because we know that you're all focused on doing what you do, which is growing a business, providing employment, supporting our economy. And the last thing you need to do is spend all of your time trying to navigate healthcare options. That's not what anybody started as a small business to do, but we need to figure out how to make that affordable, because everyone has a right to healthcare. As someone who's had my own healthcare journeys, I know that we all need healthcare, and we need healthcare that covers pre-existing conditions and all of that stuff. So I'm really excited about the direction that Access Health is going in. We've made a lot of progress, particularly over the last couple of years. Some new products coming on the market very, very soon that I think you'll probably learn about today. Very important stuff. But I also have to say that as a country, we're at a bit of a crossroads right now. And that's because the federal government, after we've made a bit of progress and we have more to do, is actually, unfortunately, threatening to cut way, way back on our healthcare supports across the country. And that could create some real problems for right here. It can make it actually harder for Access Health to do its work of making sure that small businesses have affordable options. We just saw last week a congressional committee roll out, or a couple of congressional committees roll out some potentially very concerning changes, and I hope they will reconsider those, because that will make our jobs harder, not easier. If we're going to grow an economy that works for everyone, for all of our small businesses, we need to have stability, we need to have consistent support, and we need to make sure that healthcare is affordable for folks. That's something that the federal government and the state government need to work together to do. As the chair of the Human Services Committee, I'm focused on affordability, particularly on prescription drugs. When you actually look at what is driving up the cost of care, the single biggest thing is prescription drugs. Now, insurance companies pass that on to you with higher premiums, but we are paying the highest prescription drug costs in the world right here in this country for the same drugs that are available around the world. We got to do something about that. The state's got to do something. The federal government's got to do something about it. We've got some legislation working on this year. Hopefully we'll get it through. But we can't do it without wonderful partners like Access Health Connecticut. And so we're so excited to have you in my district and hope you have a wonderful day. And with that, thank you so much.
I'll have to keep checking my steps now, going up. All right, thank you so much, Senator Lesser. We appreciate your leadership and your commitment to helping communities thrive throughout Connecticut. Next up, I am honored to introduce someone who has been an advocate for businesses and communities across Connecticut. Please join me in welcoming Connecticut State Comptroller Sean Scanlon. Oh, you're taking the long way, Sean.
I too have to get my steps in. Somebody just asked me if I wanted breakfast, and I said, no, I have 2 toddlers, so I'm ready for lunch at 10 o'clock in the morning. But good to be with you all. I have no idea what time it is. But listen, I'll be brief because you have a long agenda to get to. I am honored to be the Chief Financial Officer of the state. And as was said, I have spent a lot of my time in public office trying to make it more affordable to run a small business, because I was raised by a small business owner. My mom ran a small business. My folks split up when I was 6, and she raised me as a single mom trying to run a small business. Every single dollar she ever raised, yeah, clap it up for my mom. Somewhere she's crying in Connecticut knowing that she just got a round of applause. She's very proud that I'm where I'm at today, and she should be, because she helped get me there. But she got there because she never stopped believing that this is what she wanted to do. And like I was starting to say, she put every dollar she ever earned towards keeping the lights on and keeping food on the table. And the costs of running a business, even back then, were expensive. They're even worse today. And I think it's our sole job in Connecticut government to focus on how we can lower those costs for you. You can't do it on your own because you're maybe a 2 or 3 person business. You don't have necessarily the leverage that we have government, and that's why we have to work with you to do it. Just 2 quick plugs in the auditorium or outside the auditorium. There are 2 tables from my office that I hope you'll check out today, 2 of our efforts to do this. One of them is called My CD Savings. It is Connecticut's first ever public retirement plan. It is a plan that's available to small businesses in the state that they can offer a retirement plan to their employees at no cost to the business. When I took office 2 years ago, we had 750 companies enrolled. Just last week, we hit 7,500. So we are growing this program big time. And Lisa from my office is out there, so if you have not yet stopped by and you're interested in offering a retirement plan to your business that you don't have to pay for, go stop by and see Lisa. The second table is ArrayRx. That's being staffed today by another great person from my office named Jake McPhail, who just popped into the frame of the door. What Jake helps run in our office is a program called ArrayRx. Senator Lesser talked about the high cost of prescription drugs. This is Connecticut's first ever drug discount card that you can use at 98% of the pharmacies in Connecticut to save on the cost of your prescription drugs. So far, since we rolled this plan out, it's got about 80% savings on generic drugs and 20% savings on the brand name drugs for a total savings every prescription of about $300. So if you're living on a fixed income and your budgets are tight, like a lot of people in our state, like the house that I grew up in, any little bit helps, right? And this card, I hope, can help you and potentially help your employees to save some money at their retirement. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Why these conversations are so valuable and why I come back every year is because when I walk through the hallway, somebody says, "Hey, Sean, I heard you last year talk about this. What about this?" And they give me their card. Or they say, "Hey, what are you guys doing about this problem?" This is the forum that we get to learn of those things. And the beauty of my job, when I first got involved in politics, despite my mom probably never even voting, I just got involved in it because I literally did a book report about the Kennedy brothers as a high school student. And the first boss that I ever had in politics, he said, "You know what the best part of serving in public office is?" And I said, "No, what?" He said, "I can read a newspaper." It's a little dated now because newspapers don't really exist for young people, but he said, "I can go outside, I can open up my newspaper, I can read an article in that newspaper about something going wrong in my community, I can get in my car and I can drive to work and do something about it." And I am still idealistic. For as terrible as politics is today and as terrible as our political climate is, I'm still idealistic that we can make things better and change things. And if you have ideas of how we can do that, please call my office, email me directly. Let's figure this out together, because if we do this together, we can make this state the best state it can be for my kids, your grandkids, your business. And that's the best thing I think we can do with all of our time, and I hope that we can do it together. So thank you all very much. Have a great day today.
We're going to play this game of moving the microphone every time. Thank you so much, Comptroller Scanlon, for your words and for all of your work on behalf of our state. Up next, we have someone who understands the challenges and opportunities facing businesses across Connecticut. Please welcome Connecticut State Representative Kerry Wood.
Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here. I had such a long drive, about a quarter of a mile up the road. So we are in the midst of the legislative session. This is our final few weeks, so we're there super late. So it was wonderful to be able to come to my first event at 9:30 this morning. Thank you. So I'm chair of the Insurance Committee, and I just want to echo the sentiments that we heard from my colleagues, which is, the legislature and what the future of health insurance, really what that looks like, couldn't be more divided in the Connecticut legislature. We all have the best intentions in mind, but what the future of our insurance looks like for our small businesses is very different. And the proposals that we've put forward, like having you all pool together and purchase insurance like a large employer, offering a premium tax decrease to insurers to come bring more business to the market, try to put a mandate review in place so that we can really rein in the costs of what we're passing on to our small businesses. We put forward lots of these things. A lot of them don't get passed because there's a big divide up at the state capitol of what that looks like. But that being said, we all have the best intentions in mind, and we know that the small business community is the backbone of Connecticut's economy. So your voices are extremely important to have at the table. I'm chair of the Insurance and Real Estate Committee. I hold working groups. My door is always open for brokers, for small businesses. Any ideas, any concerns, any challenges that you are facing, we love to tackle those things. You're probably not aware of this because this is getting into the weeds, but the Connecticut legislature only regulates the fully insured space. So a lot of the times, when you're coming to us, you may have insurance plans that are not regulated by the state. But those that are the most sensitive, the most price sensitive in the market, and we're doing everything we can to try to rein in those costs, to try to improve quality. And while we have those battles up at the Capitol, I want to give so much credit to Access Health for really stepping into this space and offering new products for small businesses like yours. I'm so excited about them. We were just talking this morning about doing a presentation to our colleagues because they really are stepping up in a space that we've had difficulty finding improvement in. I want to hear from you. I want to work with you. You are the backbone to our economy. I know you want to provide benefits to your employees and you want to be competitive, and I want to work with you and help you get there. Thank you so much for having me.